Jill and I write children's books. So if you want an idea for a story, a place you could start is just by looking at what's in the news. Sometimes there's an interesting article about an animal that's escaped the zoo. All those sorts of stories are wonderful to use in your stories. Or you could think about some incidents that have happened to you and string a few of them together. Another idea is to brainstorm. An idea I like to use is that I might brainstorm a whole lot of personalities, and then I'll have another brainstorm for locations. So I'll put schools and parks and all those sorts of locations, and then brainstorm a whole lot of problems. It could be like you've got to survive a situation, you've got to find something, you've got to save a kingdom, and all those sorts of ideas. Then you've got three that you could pick from what you like and string them together, and you've got a really good idea for a story. So you've got an idea and you want to know how to lead into a story. A good idea is to do some planning, either a storyboard or do some mind mapping. All those wonderful things your teachers have been teaching you in school you can use for your stories. For parents who have got children who want to enter into the competition, I recommend that just stand back a little bit, let your child get into the story themselves and direct it. And your role will be to maybe extend them with maybe their verbs. You say, oh, you've used the word walk several times in one sentence. What's another way we could use, another interesting verb we could use? Same with you, if you see if they use the word car or tree, tell them to put, or suggest to them that they put in a word like bahutakawa or kauri tree. And same with a car, instead of just a car, put station wagon or another type of car. And what that helps the reader do is build pictures in their mind, and it makes the child's story really interesting. So your role is to just help them extend it, but not to take over their story. A favourite character of mine is a dolphin story. It's a picture book that's coming out next year, and it's Hirawai. And I often think of how Hirawai would approach things in his situation. He's a dolphin that's in a dangerous situation, and so when I talk to children about a story writer, how I problem solve how to get my character out, I think of some, what possibilities could happen, but I don't want the character to solve it straight away. So I might have them solve it one way and then come up with another way they've got to try and solve it until they can ultimately say, get themselves out of the situation in the third try. And that way your story has got a lot of depth to it, and it's not suddenly finishing all at once. The words that I like to use when I'm writing, I like to bring in other languages sometimes, like Māori language. I will often use a Māori word into my writing, and I'm always looking at extending my language with, I've talked about the verbs and the nouns before, but also use of similes, just to make the language and the story really bring it to life and help the reader build pictures in their mind. If there was one tip I could give you for your story, is to have a really exciting beginning. Start with some action, start with speech, or involve the senses so that you really grab the reader right at the beginning. I'm really looking forward to seeing your stories, and I hope you take on board some of those tips.